We had the rain come through. We didn't know what was going to happen, but everything worked out in the end. For those of you that I haven't met, I'm Olivia's dad, Tom Inskeep. And on behalf of Rhonda, Rick, Karen, and I, thank you so much for coming. We're grateful that you took the time to be here for Olivia Men's Big Day. Yeah. I especially want to thank our good friend, 30 plus years, Barry Boatwright, for officiating the ceremony. Where are you, Barry? Great job, Barry. Your time as an altar boy did not go to waste. Priority one for Olivia tonight is that you eat well, drink well, and have a great time visiting and dancing with friends and family. When it's all over, we want you to get home safely. And if you're far from home, we want you to rest up well before making the journey. So we're going to do our best to make that happen. Welcome to the party. Olivia Gale is our first of two children. And for Ron and I, her birth was what's come to be known as a gender reveal party, because we had no idea if we were having a boy or a girl. And we hadn't agreed on a boy's name, so there was a bit of relief when the doctor announced the baby girl. For a girl, we had Olivia, a name Rhonda fell for after hearing her good friend Beth mention her daycare provider by name. Gail is Rhonda's middle name. And I always got a kick out of hearing her dad address her as Rhonda Gale. And now I get a similar kick from using Olivia's full name. And it makes me think of her dad, who we refer to as Bobby Ron. While Ruby granted one wish today would be that her dad and my dad be here today. I might be able to get to the rest of this thing, but they are sorely missed. Olivia Gale was a wonderful baby, and when she turned 1, we decided to move to Baltimore City. I'll never forget one morning out for a walk, I tossed Olivia on my shoulders and made my way through Cross Street Market. I weaved and bobbed my way through the crowd, and as I approached the door to leave, I noticed an older gentleman who was watching us closely. He looked me square in the eyes and said, "There is no doubt that is your daughter." That put a big smile on my face, and I walked home, beaming with joy. A couple of years later, Margaret Claire was born, and it wasn't long before Olivia would be in dance classes. During that time, she had a little obsession with the dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy from the Nutcracker. And Rhonda recently reminded me where that obsession may have started. Soon after Maggie was born, Rhonda planned to take Olivia to see the Nutcracker at the Hippodrome Theater here in Baltimore. I ended up being out of town, which was a typical thing for me, so Rhonda took Maggie along. They were a little late walking in. The show had already started. Rhonda had Maggie in her arms, and they headed down the aisle. And instead of following Rhonda to their seats, Olivia walked straight down to the stage. Completely mesmerized, and she just stood there with her hands up on the stage, and Rhonda had to go up and get her. Now back at home, we had a tiny little play area that wasn't much more than a hallway to the back of our row house. And Olivia had this homemade Nutcracker doll that was nothing other than a paper towel tube with a little face drawn on it and maybe a construction paper hat on it. Every evening during this time, Olivia would pull the Nutcracker out. She'd start the song on the boombox. I'd start humming along, and we would dance and dance. Sometimes for nearly an hour. Sorry, that makes me cry. Okay. I'd pick her up, spin in a circle, put her down, and twirl her around, and then she would tiptoe back and forth. Those evenings will stay with me forever. I know, me too. Dancing, playing, reading to Olivia and Maggie were joyful times, and we took great advantage of living here in the city. Some evenings we'd walk down to the Science Center, and ride a beautiful little carousel like you'd find at an amusement park. Olivia learned to ride her bicycle just across the water over on Federal Hill. And I was a big bike rider, so that was a big deal to me. It thrills me to no end that Olivia and Ben have found a home here in Baltimore City. But alas, Rhonda's daily grind and my never-ending pursuit of freelance work, combined with looking for parking spots on the street, we decided to move to Howard County, where Rhonda was working. And there we found our little piece of almost heaven in Maryland, on the hills of the Patapsco River. Driving to our house down Bonnie Branch Road will always remind me of parts of West Virginia where Rhonda and I grew up. Once in Howard County, Olivia would grow up doing Howard County things like more dance classes, going to CA, which was aftercare at school, and participate in events at the Y. Then came basketball, and a little Rita's, and a little lacrosse, and a little Rita's, and a little field hockey, and a little Rita's, and why not some Chick-fil-A, and a little Rita's. Throughout these times, Olivia would maintain excellent grades. I dare to say she was the queen of the flashcard, possibly consuming an entire tree's worth of index cards for her academic career. I'm not kidding. She worked hard to improve her athletic abilities, made it to lacrosse and field hockey teams all 4 years in high school, which was a great achievement and experience, even if J Mama left her on the bench most of the time. We'll deal with that later.
That's her coach.
And finally, she endured countless trips to Mineral Wells and Morgantown, West Virginia. In Morgantown, we'd visit my parents. Sometimes on a football weekend, Rhonda's folks would join us, and Rhonda and I would relive our college years.
Let's go,
Yeah. My dad was a professor at West Virginia University. My mom was a physical therapist at the University Hospital. Between my family, I'm reading, but I know this very well. I wrote it. There's no AI here. Despite all the prompts to go to AI. You can do this, just AI's got to work. So, between my family and Rhonda's family and marriages, I could easily name more than 20 West Virginia grads in the family. So it may have been through indoctrination that Olivia eventually made the choice to attend West Virginia University. However, this was around the time that Ben Calm started making his way into our lives. So it may have been all for the love of a boy. Now, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but since Rhonda can't interrupt to correct me, you're going to get my epic version of how this relationship, now that almost 90 years, came to be. I'm getting through the tears. It won't last much longer. One day, Olivia must have casually mentioned, "I like a guy named Ben," to her mother. Shortly after that, I began hearing his name, probably at the dinner table. And then another evening at the table, Olivia says, "Ben's dad likes mountain biking. He's going to call you." What? Ben's dad's calling me? The next day my phone rings, and it's Rick. Ben's dad. Telling me what a great kid Ben is. Well, okay. Day after that, I'm riding bikes with Rick out in the woods, having fun like we've known each other for years. And I'm just going to say at that point, I'm not sure what the hell is going on. Am I dating Rick now, or are we just Is he going to ask me to the plow? Turns out, none of the above. Just a little bicycle ride to get to know each other. Just a dad putting his best foot forward for his son. That friendly gesture by Rick was indicative of the Kong family that we've come to know and love.
That's right.
So, this is when this should end, but it's not going to end. So, Olivia's a senior in high school, dating Ben, a freshman at Towson, and it's time to decide where she's going to go to college. The idea of becoming a physical therapist is pretty well stuck in Olivia's head at this point, but so is the idea of Ben. Somehow, these two figure out that West Virginia University, of all places, is the ticket for all. Ben will transfer to WVU, and both will pursue a degree that enables them to pay in-state tuition, and upon completion, this magical degree and a few targeted electives will qualify them for PT school if they can get in. Okay, that's some plan, but I gotta admit they had me at in-state tuition. Now, let me just say at this time, they're children. I'm giving this plan 50-50 tops. But in-state tuition, baby, Rick, am I right? Off they went, and 3.5 years later, not only was Ben graduating with honors, but he was tired of school and ready for a 9-to-5 job. He came home from West Virginia, and this will make me cry. More grown up than me. Because I'm still not ready for a 9-to-5. Olivia completed college with honors, fulfilled her long-term goal of getting into the University of Maryland PT school. That's right. And the next plan is she's going to live at home while attending school in Baltimore. That plan lasted about 15 minutes. I don't think she'd even started classes, and the next thing I know, she's getting an apartment with Ben. Next, and this is unbelievable, the kid's like 20, whatever. He's buying a house and she's moving in. That's crazy stuff. And then in the flash of an eye, and of course, a boatload of hard work later, she's done with physical therapy school, and we have a new Dr. Insky in the family. Olivia, your mother and I love you dearly. We're thrilled and honored to be your parents. I'm extremely pleased that your relationship to West Virginia is strong, that you followed in your grandmother's footsteps into a profession helping people, and that you earned a title once held by your grandfather, Dr. Insky. And now, you're Dr. Kong. You and Ben have worked extremely hard to get here, and I have great faith that you will both succeed at whatever you do, wherever it takes you. I don't claim to completely understand what makes a healthy and prosperous marriage, but it's obvious to me that you and Ben have what it takes to build one. Recently, your mother and I were out for dinner celebrating 32 years of marriage, 37 years together. The older gentleman who seated us asked us what brought us in. We replied, we're celebrating our anniversary tonight, and he congratulated us and stated bluntly, I always say, marry your best friend. If you don't want to do everything with them, don't bother. The way you and Ben are rolling along so far, I believe you're off to a wonderful start. So everyone, please raise a glass to celebrate these two best friends, Olivia and Ben.
Cheers.
And Ben, welcome to the family. I love you.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers for Tom, everyone. We have incredible dinner brought to you by Rude. Please